Proportions. The proportion, 1 to 1, is when one's arms take the same time, starting from the point of departure to the apex of the curve, to arrive at the next essential point or to the next pulse we are marking. If I am marking a cross, if the same exercise I want to do staccato, now the proportion doubles. 1 and 1 makes 2, twice 2 is 4, and the proportion is 4, it is 3 to 1. Thus, to do staccato, one has to do a proportion of 3 to 1. I take 3 of 4 fractions of the pulse to reach the apex and 1 of 4 to lower to the next pulse or to the next essential point of the basic figure. This, being a violent movement, makes the gesture staccato.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The proportion 2 to 1 means that we take twice the time to reach the apex, and then from the apex to the next pulse or essential point, it takes the third part, or a third, that is half the time that it did to reach the apex. 2 to 1 is what we are essentially doing when we are dancing a waltz. Anyone who dances a waltz decently would do.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
And would change the direction after beat 2.
1, 2, 3, 1.
And the time it took from 3 to 1, they would change the direction. And what we do with our arms is really dance with them, so that we see the rhythmic musical content of the pulse.
1, 2, 3.
Accordingly, these proportions, 1 to 1, 2 to 1, are always legato. From 3 to 1 and upwards is where staccato proportions start. The proportion 5 to 1 is double the proportion of 2 to 1. 2 plus 1 makes 3, twice 3 is equal to 6, the relation is in 6, and is 5 to 1, with a music that was legato, with a ternary rhythmic content. Let's see legato with proportion 2 to 1. Now with this, if we do it staccato, we must mandatorily have a ternary rhythmic content, double it, 5 to 1. In this chapter on proportions, you probably have observed that we always refer to them with proportions of 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, and 5 to 1. Always, the numerator is the greater number. The denominator is always 1. There exist, in other techniques, instances where at times one directs with the numerator always as 1. This produces a type of jerk or pinch that is not recommended in this technique. If I do
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Always, everyone understands perfectly the rhythmic content of this pulse. And I can make accelerandi and retardandi, because the differences within 3 16th notes is seen more clearly than within only 1. It's much too short. So if I pinched the beat, if I did,
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
It is practically impossible to do accelerandi because the difference between one 16th note to another is very difficult to perceive by the musicians that make up the ensemble that we are conducting. Proportion 1 to 1. Proportion 2 to 1. Proportion 3 to 1. Proportion 4 to 1. This happens in many of Stravinsky's works. Let's see how this is. Proportion 5 to 1. Different proportions at the same time. False proportions 1. False proportions 2. Change of pulse. With classical composers, especially Mozart, Haydn, there will be many occasions. Mozart was the king of changing the pulse. That is to say, a music that is in 4, and all of a sudden, due to the material or a change in the harmonic structure, or in the orchestral fabric, or for whatever reason, the pulse changes, and without changing the velocity is now in 2. Or if in 2, goes into 4. This happens constantly, and the same happens when one beats bars in 3 pulses, in 3/4. You are marking in 3, and all of a sudden, for the musical character, for the harmonic movement, or the phenomenological reasons that exist, one must change the pulse and beat in 1. This has to be explained well so that you, the viewer, can see it. So, for example, I do this.
Pom, pem, pom, pe, pop, pi, pem, pom, pa, pom, pa, pa, pem. Ram, pa, pira, po, pro, ra, pa, taro, ra, paro, po, tira, no, tro, ra, pa, paro, pa, ra, ri, po, pira, ra, ri, pi, pero, ri, rem. Teri, terom, tom, torim, ti, tiram, ta, tora, pi, pa, pom, pam, pim. Teri, tero, po, ri, pi, ra, pa, ra, pi, pa, pom, ra, ra, pi.
There, I go between 2 and 4 with great ease, always giving the upbeat.
Un, dos, tres, cuatro, un, dos, tres, cuatro, o un, dos, tres, y, un, dos, tres, siempre.
Every change that happens in the music comes from the conductor, one pulse beforehand. If we are in 3/4,
pem, pem, pom, pam, pim, pom, pam, tora, tire, tira, tom, pam, pim, pom, trerim, treram, pam, pom.
For example, there I did. This indicates that this is an anomaly, and the orchestra sees that I'm going into 1. If I'm in 1, and now I'm going into 3, so
un, dos, pem, pom, pam, pim, pom.
So we always have to give an upbeat before what is going to happen. Every change in the music comes from the conductor, one unit of pulse beforehand. Motor. Measures. In this technique, we divide measures into 2 types. There are some that we call normal and disparate, and others that we call regular and irregular. This is explained already perfectly well in the book, and what we mean to say is that the normal measures are those where the pulses that mark the conductor are rhythmically equidistant. Therefore, the measures we call disparate, or in Latin America are called disparejos. Well, there are pulses that are longer than others. They are not rhythmically equidistant. The upbeats in disparate measures have to be equal to the shortest pulse and always of 2 units of the motor. If I mark
pum 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 pum.
You have seen that I marked 2/8 notes in staccato. And as it was in staccato, I marked in the proportion 3:1, because the first proportion for staccato is 3:1. But if now I do a disparate measure, a 10/8 bar, for example, now, this has an influence in the proportions. The first upbeat always has to be of 2/8, that of the shortest beat. Always that of the shortest, because it is the closest to the motor unit and the unit that is going to function. Even though the measure starts with a beat of 3 units, the upbeat will not be of 3, but always of a beat of 2. If it is a disparate measure, as explained in the book, well, let's see, the proportion in the upbeat is 3 to 1. In the first beat, it is 5 to 1. In the second beat, it is 3 to 1. The third, 5 to 1, then 3 to 1. So it is. If it was legato, it would be 2 to 1, 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 1 to 1, and the upbeat as well would be 1 to 1. It would be
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. In
this way, one sees the music that we are interpreting in the conductor's gesture. Disparate measures, change of pulse. When I am marking 3/4 bars, if all of a sudden there was a change in pulse to 1 and we beat directly in 1, the musician wouldn't know when I am going to start to beat in 1. So the only solution there is to do a disparate measure based on join quarter notes, half note, so we create a kind of anomaly that will indicate that something is about to happen, and as well resemble the dotted half note that we are going to mark in the next measure. Whilst I continue in 1, I give the upbeat a half note and a quarter note, which gives an upbeat to the next pulse, which I am going to mark in 3. So for example, in Beethoven's Egmont, pam pam pa pam pam tirire tirora pam pam pa pam pam tirire tirora. Disparate measure for showing an effect. Disparate measures for stretching. Regular measures. Irregular measures. Subdivision of measures. The basic figures, logically, in this technique, as in all techniques, can be subdivided. Say a 4/4 bar that is an 8. What does this mean? that the music is slower and we have to subdivide because it goes so slow that it can't be conducted in 4. Technically, how do we do a subdivision? It is done with a smaller gesture that marks again the same essential point of the basic figure. If I do the cross,
1, 2, 3, 4.
and now I want to subdivide, I have to do
1, y 2, y 3, y 4, y.
the subdivision in all the essential points of the basic figure is done with a smaller gesture, as you have seen, but with the exception of the 4th beat, where we do, and we do it larger. Why? Because it is the upbeat to 1, which is the most important that there is in any change of measure. In a 3/4 bar, it is the same.
1, y 2, y 3, y 1, y 2, y 3, y 1, y 2, y 3, y.
The subdivided vertical line does not exist, because as you can understand, it is rather unpleasant and unclear conducting.
Agradable y poco claro estar dirigiendo 1, 2, 3, 4 porque no se ve claro.
Because it is not seen clearly, but as well, a subdivided 2/4 bar converts into a cross, and a subdivided bar in 1 converts into a 2/4 bar in a vertical line, as explained as well in the book.
Como está explicado también en el libro.